Kauhia. Näin.
Boris Johnson. Fuck Boris. Siihen tuorekaan perään.
Nyt säkin britit Suomeen taas lappua, niin mitä sä lukeet?
Joo, mä mietin
Ei ne googlettaa sitä.
jos ovi on lukas, olet myöhästynyt, tulee terassin oven kautta. Joo, kyllä. Mut sit kun Eto vaan oven tossa, niin... Niin. Sit kun Eto vaan oven, niin lähtee vaan sisälle, se pölöttää vaan tänne niinku toinen live-streamin tyypeille sit. Enkuks niin Tai puhut kyllä teillekin siis joo, mutta tänne puhuu myöskin.
Mun täytyy varmaan vaihtaa Volvoon. Mun täytyy varmaan vaihtaa semmosen farkkuvolvoon, kun ei Leksa mahu tonne autoon kunnolla. Kalliiksi tulee koiran. Tai sitten mesee. Tossa on kans iso toi. No mut on se, kun koira on täyden.
Kohta tyyli mennä. Nyt mä vois vaan rapsuttaa kyllä valitettavasti.
Ei niissä enää ole kauhean iso se.
Yli 90. Niissä on, niin se poliisi on niinku tossa.
Niin, semmonen joku vanha transporter.
Semmonen, niin. Hiasen.
Eikö semmonen vanha kukla on nää semmonen?
Katseli on semmoinen roslupakulla ja sitten se luki tällä takana, että harmaan talouden vastustaja.
Se oli riihipäällä joku poltti siis vanhalla Volvolla kumia ja siis siinä luki, että Greta Thunbergin Volvossa tuli mustaa tällä tuli pakolla.
On sekin mitään mikä täällä on.
Tai mikä sanottu joku ei voinut Nissan GT-ran pakoputkiin siihen. Se oli Greta Thunbergin naama.
Mä laitoin sen kuvan tänään.
Oli Greta Thunbergin naama siihen pakoputkiin.
Greta Thunberg.
Oikeesti toivottavasti ole kukaan suomalainen.
No mä oon mainostanut mun frendeille, että siellä voi olla kyllä ihan suomalaisia kavereita kattoo tätä justiin. Tää on maailman oudoin paikka silleen, kun Etu toi tossa ja puhuu tähän kameralle. Eikä se pois mulle, mun pää on tossa kameran takana.
Täytyy mennä terassin kautta,
Joo.
vikana laita lukkoon.
Joo.
Niin onhan akussa läppäri, eli läppäri on 8%.
Semmoinen kahkahata, se oli virheitä kahtaa. Se oli numeraksi niinku numero.
Mikä se oli siinä kuuma kesä? Mikä se oli se? Paskoja vihanneksia?
Paskoja vihanneksia. Voidaanko vähän inspaa jos...
Hello, come on in. Welcome to my house, guys. Come on in. No need to take your shoes off because this is a British performance. So don't take your shoes off. Let's feel like British people. Come on in.
Ei voi olla kengät jalassa suomalainen.
There we go. So first I want to show you guys my house a bit, where I'm going to be performing. And come here. I want to show you guys the house. So here we have the lovely shower and a sauna, and that's where I do most of my crying. Come with me. So here we have the kitchen where I like to cook food. Oh, please listen, you're the audience. So this is actually a really important place to me because it's the kitchen. I cook my food here, and this is the first place I actually stabbed myself when I was opening a hamburger packet. Anyway, you guys know about this, but I need to show the British audience right here. Here we have a drying cabinet, and which means when you have a dirty dish, you put it down, it dries itself. Amazing. But I'm not here to sell my house. That's later. I'm gonna take you now to your seats. Come on, join with me. Watch out for the dog. There we go, the dog is there. So enjoy your seats, and I'm gonna be making an entrance because this is a performance. So I'm gonna exit, and my technician who's holding the camera right now, he's gonna station me, and then we're gonna begin for real. Enjoy the show.
Kissamalla on
Hankki teatteria varten. No niin, se on tähän panostanut. Niin, no niin.
Se on kebardin luokka.
Niin. Niin, mitäs sulla on?
Kiukka tuo päivä niitä haskeja, kun ne hyppii sohville ja pöydille. Se on aika saman näköistä.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to tonight's entertainment, where we have 20 minutes of laughter. Here is your comedian tonight, Eetu. Come on, you're too nice. Hello, hello! How's everyone doing tonight? I'm Eetu, and I'm from this house. I was meant to perform this performance to the British audience in UK and have a big, beautiful Finnish flag behind me, but instead, I'm here to perform it in my house to my friends and family. Thank you so much for coming. How crazy is this? When I wrote the script for this stand-up show, I wrote a bit about Brexit. And with all these news going on lately, it feels like Brexit was 8 years ago. Oh, but no, what I want to talk to you guys is the cultural differences of Finland and UK. Because in Finland, the biggest question there is how are you? And in UK, this means nothing. How are you? Nothing. And an example is, I go to a local supermarket and I see a classmate and I say, hey man, how are you doing? What's up? And they say, good, you, and walk off. But now, one time, I caught my classmate, that's right. She was about to exit, I opened the door for her, and she told me, oh, thank you, how are you, Eetu? And without a second breath, I said, oh, my brother just broke his leg on live television, he's just had a surgery. The look on her face when I did not say, good, you. Now, I need to tell you guys that my brother is in the audience, and I promise he can walk. Even though he's sitting down now. I want to talk to you guys about this house, because this is the house where the stories happen that I'm going to be telling you guys. This is where I left for my journey to go to United Kingdom and then return because of massive global pandemic. Yeah, anyway, journeys. Journeys are fun. You know, I've been on a journey to UK, and you know what's really good for journeys? Small journeys? Taxis. That's right, good shout there. I absolutely love this one particular yellow taxi man back in Aber. He's not yellow, he's Karis. And he has these stripes on the taxi and gives these little bags of sweets. Top lad, I absolutely love. I wait 15 minutes to get this taxi. But before, in my journey, at the age of 8, that's right, a tender age of 8, we used to have this school taxi system back in here, Finland. And I was actually beaten up at the age of 8 by a full-grown adult taxi driver. And from the school home taxi system, and the thing that I used every day and every day after that, because free taxi? He did all this beating of an 8-year-old because I would be adjusting the heating in the taxi like this.
Älä koske siihen.
He would smack my hand and he would slap me in the face while trying to undo my belt buckle. He would then take his fist and smack me in the leg. And after this, he took his adult-sized hand on my 8-year-old neck and threw me in the back. But then he dropped me off the end of the road, so I didn't die. And if Uber was around, definitely only 2 stars. It was a really nice taxi. It was really nice. It was a Mercedes, I think. The same one my dad drives right now. And it's fun to remember whenever we go to the store, and I can remember that fond memory of me getting beaten up by an adult in the taxi. But me being beaten up by an adult at the age of 8 wasn't the first time. That's right. I was actually, the first time, I don't remember, but my dad says I was 4 or 5 years old, and this kindergarten director would come and hit me with sticks until my dad saved me. Anyway, the first trauma in my life that started shaping my life, and which bad people in my life have exploited very well actually, is an absolute fear of needles! That's right, little pointy needles that hurt so much less than a beating in a taxi, let me tell you that. No, but listen, if you close your eyes and you imagine how I feel when I take a needle. I close my eyes, because I don't want to see it, and I can see my veins inside my arm, and I can feel the needle piercing through my skin, and if it's a vaccination, I feel this white stuff entering my blood and mixing with it, so you can probably understand why I'd rather be beaten in a taxi than take a little poke of the finger to here. And, okay, my parents don't need to be afraid that I'll move into drugs. But when I was in school, this one time actually, it's kind of funny, I had to take the blood test from here, a little poke of the finger, hemoglobin I think, and because these happened in a span of 3 minutes and not 3 days, I almost nearly passed out. But enough about taxis for a while, let's talk about everybody's favorite subject. School. At the age of 13, I had been kicked out of school already for the 3rd time in my life. And this time, I was brought to hell. Or so I felt, because in there, I had to one time run for my life, barefooted in the snowy road.
Tule tänne! Tule tänne! Tule tänne!
I got hit by guys and girls alike, no discrimination there. Everybody wanted a piece of me. And even if I was 13 there, and you're on the 7th grade, where you meant to be 13, everybody else there was around age of 17. And this is actually this is a precious memory for me. But the worst person in there actually ended up driving to a tree, all drugged up on coke, and died on impact. And that was the happiest day of my life. Good memory. There was a reason why I was bullied, tormented and beaten in this place I regarded as hell. It was because I had a family who was here to support me today, and they didn't. My dad would come and pick me up from there, and they would stay there every single day. During this surreal stuff going on, my parents would fight their best to get me back into the normal school. And they did that! Were my troubles over? I was gonna ask the British audience for this, but you all know it. Oh, no. It was about to get very 8-year-old treatment me in a taxi, let me tell you that. Now, at the age of 14, kids start to, in their head, to grow up and turn to teens. And at this point, little pushing or shoving wasn't going to be enough anymore. Now I started to get beaten up in the normal school too. And I remember this one time, kids would be throwing money at me like this, to my head. And it made me cry. Imagine this money damaging me, money being thrown at me. Now that I'm an adult and trying to be a performer, I would love you guys to throw some money at me. Now, the mental torture in the school started to become a norm, and I did not react to it anymore. I was so tired of it. So my parents decided it was time for a holiday. So we went to Germany, and I got a virus on my toe. Yeah. A fungal toe? I've had 3 surgeries on my foot. First one was at the age of 16 in a drama academy. Second time was when I was 19 and it's in the army. And I was ordered into a war camp. And I was appointed as a media fighter, which meant that if Russia decided to attack one day, I'd be making propaganda in an office. So this is a bit weird. And so they ordered me into the doctors to get my toe checked out. And they ordered me into surgery immediately. So I had my surgery, but because I have my massive fear of needles, I passed out on the surgery table because of massive amount of drugs. Sorry, Mom. And I woke up the next day by a nurse waking me up, and she told me this: "You get to go to the camp now. Have fun." So I had my surgery, and I still had to go to the camp. I can't win, can I? So I go into the camp, and immediately I'm told to start doing extra work because I missed today. And my superior comes to me like, "You're fine, do some work." And I said, "No, I'm not fine. I'm not doing any work." And back and forth, there's 20-30 minutes until he calls the cops on me. So I'm put to the back of a police van, not handcuffed. No. I'm holding on to my rifle. With no ammo though, no ammo, don't worry. So I'm put to the back of a police van, and they find out that I've had a bloody toe and I've had a surgery. So he decided to take me back to the hospital, and I get to go sleep on a nice hospital bed. And the next morning they tell me, "If you don't go to the camp, you're kicked out of the army." So I went there for the remaining 2 nights. And the third time, when I was working at Hamleys, and a kid fell on my toe. That was really painful. And that's right, those 2 surgeries before did nothing on me. And when I went to my 3rd surgery, they actually hired a toe specialist to come to me from Turku to do an operation in Helsinki for this toe right here. And he fixed it up good at the age of 20. So from ages 14 to 20, I lived with a toe that bled every single day. And this was the gateway for me being beaten up in the normal school as well. It started with the worst 2 of them stomping on my foot, and then quickly it started with them punching me or beating me up. I was a punching bag. And then it went to, they hated me, but they still tried to keep me in the bus because they would steal my hat and I couldn't get off. They were dropping me on the ground daily. But during all this time happening, I actually had not 1, like in a normal class, not 2, which is a bit weird but relatively normal, but 3 adults in the class at the same exact time, all the time. I still got beaten and bullied and tormented. One of them was hired to be my protector. And no, that wasn't the case, because I was still bullied, beaten, tormented, and they stopped on my toe and they made my toe bleed every day more and more. It bled for 6 years and it just did not stop. I was supposed to have an adult by me to protect me, but no. Already at the age of 4 or 5, I don't remember when was the first time I got beaten up in my life. The second time was by a full-grown adult in a taxi. A full-grown adult beating an 8-year-old, and then finally, at the age of 13 to 15, I was finally being beaten up by people who did not have enough power to kill me. And this all started because I took medication in school. And then, because I would be listening to... And then, because I had parents and family, and finally they didn't even say a reason anymore. Before things went to me having broken bones in school, I was kicked out for my own safety. And they gave me 2 options. First one, move back to hell, or I'm schoolless. And my parents knew exactly what I wanted. So I was taken away from school just after I had finished the 8th grade. Oh yeah, that's right. During this all surreal stuff going on in hell, after that they gave me an option to do the 7th and 8th grade at the same time. And then when everybody went to the 9th grade, I was still doing a little bit of the 8th grade and completely fully the 9th grade. So on top of being bullied, I did double the workload. Now, winter came along, and I hadn't been to school now for, I don't know, 2 months. And I'm appointed to this media school on the internet, school on the internet, and I'm not motivated to do anything. But then this one day, my new teacher tells me that the teachers in my old school, that they have been how I will be a failure and will be in school for years to come. This clicked in me. So I decided to take the bull by the horns, and I completed the 9th grade in record time, 2 months. So now this kid with a dream to become an actor had completed school and made a record, and a lot of newspapers made articles about me. Happy ending! Thank you. Like a lot of stories about bullying, right? Well, no, not this one. I was now 16, and I was more confident than ever after doing a year in a drama academy, and I landed myself a summer job of selling strawberries, peas and potatoes around 5 kilometers from where I live. And it's in the area that I got brutalized daily. My toes stopped constantly. And I go there and I see my old bullies, but I don't let them affect me anymore. I don't. I felt like I won. I still have this bloody though. But I finally felt in my life a victory. Until one bright day, this silver, most normal looking taxi comes by my stand, and out of the car comes out this man in his mid-30s, a bit chubby. He comes to me and asks me, "Am I Edu?" I say, "Yeah." "Are you Edu Merisaari?" And I say, "Yeah." He then asks me where I live, and at this point I'm starting to kind of freak out, and I say a nearby city, Hämeenlinna. And now let's recall back to me being in the weird class with 3 teachers, 1 main teacher, my personal assistant, and the 3rd one was a 2nd teacher. Well, so much shit has happened in my life that I left out telling that this woman once sued me for hitting her.
Paskiainen, sä löit mua!
And I was told to go to justify, and it was quickly depicted that I did not hit her. I don't remember. So the man says to me, "Are you the little shit who hit my mother?" Now at this point I start slightly panicking, and I start to realize that the death has come in front of me. I realize that I have been bullied, tormented and beaten all my life, and I finally got over it. And I've been always beaten up and I've always been hit, but the one time I had this one allegation that I hit somebody, the death has come in front of me, the bullied one. He says to me, "You should watch out or you might get shot." About a minute later, from the store next to the store, comes out this woman in her mid-40s, around the same age as my mother. And she sees this kid crying and snot coming out of nose and panicking. And she comes by my stand and she sees me and she says this, "Can I have 2 liters of peas, please?" So me, a 16-year-old kid who's crying and panicking, snot coming out of my nose, but I'm there to do my job, so I take the 2 liters of peas, I put it in a bag, and I hand her the peas, and she hands me the money, and she says, "Thank you." But, but I can now gladly tell you all here that I've been accepted to East 15 Acting School, and I do get to go follow my dream as an actor. So, I guess we did get that movie-like happy ending. Thank you.
Tule tänne! Tule tänne!
Paskiainen, sä löit mua! Paskiainen, sä löit mua!
Älä koske siihen! Älä koske siihen! Älä koske siihen!
Paskiainen, sä löit mua! 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 Paskiainen, sä löit mua!
Oh, I wish they hadn't put a trail so